All right, so what you're saying is because people have different religions in different regions, that means what? That means Christianity is false? I don't understand.
Well, absolutely, Christianity is false. That goes without
I
saying.
know, but I'm trying to figure out what your point is by saying that every region has a different religion.
Right. It's kind of like going back to the Jews and how their God decides that this certain tribe does this, but the people in different regions will make up their own God. Like you were saying, oh, because the Jews were burying the children in the post holes, there's certain elders decided we need to stop that, and then they invented that God. And you said, at that point, that's when it stopped. But other wise men and elders said, we need to stop doing XYZ. Let us invent a God so we can control the simple-minded men and the masses by saying this is what the God Vishnu wants, or this is what the God Hanuman wants, or this is what Sakya Sai Baba wants, right?
Because of the child sacrifice. So you're saying all these religions started because of child sacrifices.
All right, you got to be careful with you're saying. I'm saying that is one of the reasons they invented God.
Oh, okay.
And then while they were inventing God, and wanted to stop these certain things, they also wanted to stop rape. They wanted to stop lies. They wanted to stop different immoral things that a society needs. Well, I can't say immoral, but they wanted to stop different activities that a society needs to prosper. And they invented a God. If you study what the Sikhs say and with where there are different things, and you'll get a feeling of a pattern developing. Men invented a religion to control masses of men, and they said, hey, there is a promise of a delayed gratification in heaven, or a reward or a penalty for eternity if you do XYZ. And if you eat pork, you're condemned to an eternity of hell.
Okay. I mean, I like the logic. Can I interject for a second and run with that logic? So what you're saying, religion started to keep people from doing bad things, rape, putting children in post holes, child sacrifices, is what you're saying, which would mean that they'd have to pretty much get rid of atheists, right? Because obviously those people must have been atheists to do that. Correct?
If I were to go to Saudi Arabia right now, atheists are considered terrorists, and they will execute terrorists. So yeah, there are that's what the Crusades were. That's
because of their religion.
Yeah, so that's what many people were killed over not being the religion of my tribe type situation, and wars, countless wars, countless of millions of people have been murdered over just that reason alone.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's not what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is your reasoning is the reason religion started is because people were unruly. They were raping and sacrificing children in post holes because they were atheists, or they didn't have a religion, right? They didn't have a God, which would mean that if your logic follows, the ones that didn't buy into the religion should continue with that practice until today.
Absolutely not, because we've just chosen to live in a society amongst one another where we come to a red light, and whether God told us not to go or to stop at a red light, we know to stop at a red light, and when the light turns green, we know to drive based on rules and laws that we've chosen to live in that society.
When did that happen?
If we're in a different society, women have to cover their heads in certain parts of the world, right?
Right now, I'm mostly asking about the godless, the ones that didn't buy into religion. You keep talking about women that covered their head. You keep talking about the religious. We're not talking about them. I want to specifically go back to your point that religion started as a result.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
As a result of the non-religious, the godless, doing these heinous things. So I want to know, what point did the non-religion ones, the ones that didn't believe in a God, stop these heinous acts on their own, decide, hey, we don't need a God, let's just stop raping and putting kids in post holes? When did that happen?
When cities started developing and they realized that in order for us to prosper as a society, we need to stop doing these things that we would prefer not to be done unto us. And we want to do what would benefit others. We want to do those things, and we want to stop doing things that would hurt others. And that's at what point they decided. Now there were many religious people that went out and killed people that didn't believe, and that happened a lot, right? And perhaps that was a deterrent for people to stop doing those things. Then men started developing prisons, and they said, if you do this act, that will result in this punishment, right? So people said, we're going to stop doing those things. Does it still happen till today? Yeah, that's why there's prisons around today. And that's why the prisons, the federal prison, is populated by, I would say, and I've seen the numbers on this, it's somewhere in the upper 90 percentile of people in federal prison have some sort of religion, predominantly Christianity. And the population of the federal prison is it's lower than 1% of atheists in your prisons today.
Okay, I think are you trying to make a correlation between religion and people in prison?
The
Or is it
correlation
just a
that we're making here
coincidence?
is,
Or
no, that's a big coincidence. What the correlation I'm making is, just because a God said do these things and you say I believe in this God, it does not stop you from doing these things that are bad for society.
only stop someone to believe in God, that
There's
want to
plenty of
follow
people
God,
that believe in God that are in jail today.
and that want to follow God, right? Obviously, they didn't want to follow God. I'm talking about the Christian God. But my
Sure.
point to
There
you
are
is,
many Christians
wh-
in prison
let-
today that want to follow God, but are still in prison today. And they'll sit there and hold Bible studies, and probably a bigger believer than most people that you know. And they believe in this Jesus character and that you call God, right? Your Jesus is God, one and the same, I think is what you said.
yes,
Okay. All right.
yeah, but let's go back a little bit more and say, at what point did these atheists get into these cities and decide, hey, now we're trying to form a city, we can't be doing those rapes and children post hole digging? What was there a date on that? Because I'm trying to get these.
No, I
Trying
think
to
it was
fact
more of a
check you on that.
gradual thing, because some people that didn't believe and some people said, okay, this is ridiculous. We should not be putting our children in post holes. So they've decided, hey, we need to change these things because of the subject of morality, not because of a God-given divine morality. They said killing our child is a bad thing. And there are
Was
still
their
some people
opinion,
that will
yeah.
sacrifice their children today. So
Sure.
I guess that hasn't stopped.
Sure.
Right? There are
Even
people
when
that
God was there with there was plenty of and actually that's one of the wars that happened where God instructed the Jews to wipe out I forgot which group it was right now, but
he wiped out many different groups.
well,
It wasn't just
I'm not
the
sure
one
if it was many, but that particular one was because
No,
they
it
were
was,
doing.
if you haven't read the Old Testament, the Jews were going around wiping out many
Well,
different
that was
tribes.
through war. I don't think that was a certain wipeout, but that was a
Yeah,
particular
war
war
that
that
he
happened.
decided that he should wage on them because of land disputes, or he wants them to spread to different lands. So the Jews justified it, saying God wanted us to do these things. Solomon, go do this. King David, go do these things because God told you to do it. And till today, there are many men that do terrible things that say God told me to do it. You can talk to God all you want, but as soon as he starts talking back to you, that's when we start having to concern ourselves.
Yeah, I've never heard God speak to me, so I'm safe right now.
So far. But there are many
uh,
people that kill their children or drown their children because they say God told me, or they do heinous acts based on a God that in their head that told them to do it, which they believe is just as real as your Jesus. And there's
Yeah, but-
nothing you can say about that, but for my Bible doesn't say that. My Bronze Age Bible, written by Middle Eastern men, doesn't say that.